What's up, YouTube? What's up? How y'all doing? It is August 1st, 2024. It's about 9 a.m. in the morning right now. I'm sitting in the car. I just felt like I wanted to come out and talk a little bit. I haven't done a podcast in a while, so this will be my first episode again in 2024. How's everyone doing? I know this year's been kind of crazy. We've seen a lot of things going down in politics and war across the world. A lot of things happening domestically within our country. It's a lot going on right now. I'm here in the United States on the East Coast, and it's quite the time to be alive. I just want to say that first, I'm very thankful to be alive in this point in time in history. I think this is like the most amazing time to be alive right now. You can't really ask for a better time to be alive and to witness the transition that we're going through in society, because we're seeing it firsthand. From just 4 years ago, when 2020 came around and COVID, we saw a transition then. Now we're into another transition where we're seeing how people are starting to take sides. We're watching. I mean, America's always been about taking sides, but I think now more than ever since COVID, or since the pandemic. I don't like to say certain words because YouTube, X, Y, and Z. But since the pandemic, a lot of things really changed for people. A lot of perspectives really changed for the better and for the worse. So I think that at the end of the day, we need to just have a mutual understanding. Now, what does that take to have a mutual understanding? You have to first want to understand one another. And that's the problem. A lot of people, they just want their opinions to be voiced, and they don't want to hear anybody else's opinions, especially if it's not along the lines of theirs. So I think step one to understanding one another is to experience a different culture, experience a different group of people. Put yourself in environments where you're not comfortable around. I know, for example, go to a protest that has nothing to do with you, right? You start doing these type of things, you'll see how much in common you have with one another, with people who might not speak the same language as you, people who look different than you, people who might believe in different things. You'll start to notice that you're not so much different than all these people who are at this event, right? There's maybe some physical, there's some, spiritual or mental differences, but all in all, we all get up, we all go to work, we all, try to provide for ourselves and our families. We all basically eat the same type of food, we drink the same water. So it's like we have a lot of common ground within society, especially here in America. Don't try to compare yourself to people from around the world, because everybody from around the world is made differently. But here in America, we're all basically, unless you're an immigrant, unless you came here and grew up somewhere else, for the most part, all of us came up through the same system. The 13 years in school. Some of us went on to go to college and have a higher degree of education. Most people after that go on to the workforce. So it's like the 9 to 5 schedule. You see most people have this same schedule. You look at rush hour, 3 to 4 to 5, 6 o'clock. Most people are coming home at the same time. Most people are going to work at the same time. A lot of people are on the same schedule, but this system that we're living in targets all these type of people and separates and divide them. And they use different tactics to do it. They might use sports, they might use your musicians, they might use your entertainers, they might use politics, all different types of, especially religion. Religion is the number one way they divide and conquer the minds of people. because they put fear into your heart. They put fear into your belief system of of what the afterlife is, what, the purpose of life is. So at the end of the day, we have to understand that this world is contrived to divide us, and it's not naturally supposed to be like that. I believe in God, I believe in a higher power, I believe in a creator, whatever you want to call it. I don't have a certain name for it. All I know there's something that gave me life, there's something that gave you life, and it provides us with oxygen every day. It provides us with sunlight, with water, with the ability to function. Our bodies are incredible. If you just look at the anatomy of the human body, you're like, how is this even put together so perfectly? Everything in this world is working in synchronicity with one another, and it's like, okay, no human could ever put this together. No robot could ever put that together. No matter how much we try to think AI is so smart, AI can't touch the power of God, the creator, or whatever you believe in, a higher power. It can't touch it, because God created everything. The creator created everything, right? So I have this deep, profound respect for the life that I've been given, and I'm fascinated with what came before me. I always want to know what happened before I was here. I get to experience life here on Earth, and it seems like I only get 120 years, and based on the way that we're living here on Earth and the way the world's set up, I probably won't see 120 years because of the conditions that are here, like pollution and all types of toxic things going into our bodies. But let's just say 120 years it's like you sign a contract with God to come to Earth, and you might make it for 120 years, you might not, but at the end of the day, 120 years compared to everything else on Earth is not that much of time. Because you look at trees can live for thousands of years. There's some animals that can live for hundreds of years. In past, in the history books, and well, not history books, but in past stories passed down, humans were living for hundreds of years. So what changed? I want to know the history. I'm so intrigued by history, and not like the textbook history that we learned through slave school. I want to know what really happened. I don't want to know about the religious history, because a lot of that has been, it's been manipulated and switched around. I want to know the real history of Earth and the human population. Like, what did we do here? How did we get here? How did we evolve to this? Science doesn't explain everything that has happened here on Earth. No matter how much you want to believe in science, it does not explain everything. So at the end of the day, this is how my mind works. It's like I'm intrigued by the little things, how did we even get the ability to communicate with each other? Like, when did that first come about? Language and and the number systems, understanding the stars and the water and the earth. Like, how did we understand these things? Who were the first people to come across these discoveries, and how did they pass these things down? I'm fascinated by all these things, right? So anyway, I think that at the end of the day, that as a people of a country that is made up of different skin colors, cultures, backgrounds, ethnicities, nationalities, I think that we all have something here in common in America, and it's just, we are the example that needs to be set for democracy to the world. The rest of the world, they look at us as the example. Like, can these people in this country really pull off a true democracy? Can we really have a country where people of all backgrounds come together and work together to create a great nation? Is it possible? So it's our duty to ensure that it is possible. But I think what has happened is, what I know has happened is that, religion has stepped into play, politics has stepped into play, race has stepped into play, and all these things are dividing us from and distracting us from the main goal of what America should be. You know, America should be a place where we come together and we create a nation, a utopia nation for democracy. You know, basically around the world, every country is basically a dictatorship. Yeah, some countries might have more leeway than the others, but at the end of the day, it's a dictatorship all over the world except for America. That's the idea. That's the idea of what it is. But really, America is just it's a dictatorship designed to look like a democracy. So at the end of the day, how do we fix that? How do we come to terms with that? That's really what's going on. And I think a lot of people in this country, they're confused. They don't understand that this is not a real democracy. Two-party political system is not a real democracy. It's two birds, it's two wings on the same bird. And that bird is evil. It's an evil bird. Why do you think our national animal is a bird? You know what I mean? It's like this bird is not leading us in the right direction. We're following a false messiah, to say, right? And at the end of the day, people have to come to terms with this is the reality of what America is at this current moment. But that doesn't mean it can't change, because it can change and it will change. But it's up to us to have that drive, that willpower to make it change. You see, Creator, God, the higher power, it gave us this ability to create change, to create and pull things out of thin air. You know, some of the greatest creations that people have ever made came from their mind, and then they manifested it into the world. Came out of thin air. So at the end of the day, we have the same ability to do that collectively in a society. But it starts with us coming together. So when you go to a sports game and you sit on one side of the stadium, and you know your neighbor might sit on the other side because they like the red team and you like the blue team. Still your neighbor, but now you guys hate each other. Now you two don't like each other because you're rooting for two different sides. That's the manipulation that is being played on us. At the end of that game, you both go home to the same block, and you both share the same air, the same water, the same food. But you still don't like each other because you vote for red, I vote for blue. And it's just sad that this is the reality of America, is that people can't even see that. You know, like, I'm only 27 and I've been knowing the manipulation that's been played on America. I've been knowing this stuff since way before I was even in high school. I picked up on this stuff. Yeah, I was still so-called stuck in the matrix where, you know, I worship celebrities, you know, athletes. I was into sports and all that stuff, you know, that, which is fine. I'm not saying you can't be into that stuff, but like at a certain point, understand the agenda, because there's an agenda behind everything. Everything you see in this world is an agenda. Anything that involves money, there's an agenda behind it. Everything in this world is about money. You know, find one thing in this world that you do every day that's not about money, and you'll notice that's the best thing that's going to happen in your day. You know what I mean? You know, like, for example, like helping somebody, you know, mow their lawn, or you know, I'm saying things like where you're not asking money to do, like you're just helping one another. You know, you're giving advice to people, or you know, you're whatever it may be. You know, I don't want to go through the whole list of things like that. You know what it is. So it's like, find things you can do that doesn't just revolve around money. And I think, you know, especially my generation, we've got so like accustomed to thinking about money all the time, which you can't blame them. It's just everything's so expensive. It's just you kind of always have to think about, okay, how am I going to make this next dollar? You know what I mean? Like, because everything's expensive, you know, from car insurance to groceries to rent to water bill to clothes. Like, everything's expensive. So I get why people are in this like survival mindset, but at the same time, we have to realize that money is not real, because the people with the most money in the world, they don't even care about money because they have so much of it, and they realize that it doesn't mean anything. You know, unless you put that money to use and you buy some property, you buy some land, or you buy something that can generate more money for you, earning that paycheck, it doesn't really matter. It's just for you to survive. So it's what you do with the money that gives it its value. But the money itself it's just a piece of paper. So people fight and kill each other over it, especially like the the minority community, the Black and Latino community. We kill each other over this piece of paper. How many stories have you heard of guys going to jail for a $10 bill? You know what I mean? Like it's insane that we have stooped this low in our mindset, in our spirit at that. And a lot of it comes down to, there's a lot of different reasons why this manipulation game is working, but again, a lot of it is religion. They separate and divide us on religion. They have you thinking this creator is this one name and that name, and it came through this way, it came through that way. At the end of the day, we're all breathing the same air. we're all looking at the same sun. We're all drinking the same water. So at the end of the day, just respect that there is something above us. There is something that gave us this chance to be here on earth. So just understand that. You don't get into detail about the names and this, that, the story. Don't get into detail about that stuff. Don't get manipulated by that stuff. And I think a lot of religions now have turned into a cult, to where it's about, as long as you're in this community, then you have more access to opportunities and resources, as long as you stay in this community and then you don't try to break away or go against this community. I think a lot of people have just used religion in that aspect, where they don't even care about the spiritual part about it. They just care about the benefits of just being a part of the community. And that's like the most like sickening part about this whole religion scam. It really is a scam. And I'm not saying one religion, I'm saying all the religions are a scam. So at the end of the day, I don't believe that you should just, all right, so I do believe that at the end of the day, when you have a child, you should teach them the right ways to live and have respect for spirituality. So I do believe religion can play a role in some aspects of our lives and our future, but don't just stop there at a religion. Don't just stop at a text. Don't just stop at being a part of a community. Just understand that there's more to it. Use it as a stepping stone to enlightenment. And a lot of people, they might learn about a certain religion and then they just stick with it, and they're like, that's it, that's the truth. I don't want to know no more. I just want to follow what this religion, what this church, what this synagogue is telling me to do. And that's wrong. At the end of the day, that's wrong. You should continue your path of enlightenment and your spirituality. Because once you keep going down that journey of enlightenment, you'll realize that none of this stuff really matters. Who wrote this? Who wrote that? Where did this come from? Where did that come from? None of it matters, because you're at a certain point of enlightenment that you're just thankful to be here each and every day. It doesn't even matter if you have a car or you don't have a house, or if you don't have clothes. As long as you're here and you're able to breathe and you're able to smile, you're able to walk, you're able to talk, you're able to have your health together, your mind together, that's true enlightenment. And then that's when the blessings in life come to you. That's when the world starts opening up to you, because you're vibrating at a certain frequency where your mind and your heart are in unison with one another. But religion doesn't allow that to happen. Religion separates your mind and your heart, and it pulls it all types of different ways. And then you add in the politics, and then you add in nationalities, and then you add in the entertainment, all these different things. And don't get me started about drugs and alcohol either, because all these different things are manipulating us. So you're not, see, and that's the problem, is that these type of conversations, they're not going to be had here on social media that much, because it's being censored. Everybody you're seeing that's promoted to you on your screens and your main page, your front page, they're all pushing agendas, and they're part of this global cabal that is designed to keep your mind and soul trapped in a prison. They're all paid off. Anybody that has 1 million views, for the most part, like 99% of them in today's age, if you have 1 million views, then you're part of the agenda. You sold out. You're pushing an agenda. Anybody who's really speaking truth is going to be censored. They're not going to have any views. And that's the sad part, is that the messages that need to be really pushed out there, that people really need to hear, they're not being heard. And the messages that people don't need to be hearing, they're being heard loud and clear. And they're being pushed in front of your face every single day, all day. Because they're paying money to do that. There's big money that's being paid to people and to organizations to push out a certain agenda to the populace. And you as an individual have to recognize it. That's what it means to be stuck in the matrix, is that if you can't recognize the agendas, then you're stuck in the matrix. But if you can recognize the agendas, like for example, if you can recognize that there's an agenda to depopulate the earth through different tactics, like let's just use you know what I mean, that thing that goes into your body, let's just use that as an example. That's an agenda to depopulate the earth. Let's just use I hate to say certain words because they will censor, but let's just use when you have an offspring and you get rid of it, right? That's an agenda, right? Let's use the letter community. You know, I don't have a problem with the letter community, but at the end of the day, it's an agenda. It's an agenda, right? When you're changing yourselves, when you're changing your natural self and you're mutilating yourself, that's an agenda. So at the end of the day, yeah, there is positives to it. There is, respect to all of them, but you have to realize there's an agenda behind that. There's an agenda. And if you can't recognize that, that means that you are stuck in the matrix. You're not really, and that's the part where I don't like about the term woke, is that you've got people who are saying they're woke, but they're not really woke. They're supporting agendas. They think it's progressive. It's not progressive. Supporting an agenda that's destructive to humanity, but you think it's being progressive, you're not woke. You're asleep. You're knocked out. You can't even see the agenda behind it. So you're not woke. Being woke is the ability to see through what's being told and pushed towards you. That's what's being woke, So, I just want people to realize that this whole world is pushing an agenda. From the moment you wake up, they're pushing an agenda to your face. So that's why you have to don't spend too much time on the screen. Spend as much time in life, in the world, in front of a human face, interacting with a human body. Don't spend too much time with your face in front of a camera, right? Because at the end of the day, there's an agendas that are being pushed as soon as you touch this thing, right? So at the end of the day, again, we have to come to a realization that this is happening. And the kids who are coming up, the next generation, they were born into this. So they don't understand life before the screens. See, I'm 27 and I remember life before the screens. I remember, getting up, let's say, right now it's August, right? I remember when I was a kid in 2005, I forgot how, I don't know, what was I? I was like 8 years old, right? I remember those summers I would wake up and the first thing I would want to do is go outside. First thing I want to do, I ride my bike, play basketball, go knock on my friend's door, yo, what up? What y'all doing? Let's fucking hang out. Sorry for cursing, but let's hang out. You know what I mean? And I'm that is what's missing in today's generation of kids. They don't want to go outside, and you can't blame them because they've been indoctrinated to be a part of this agenda to stay inside, stay around the screens. There's so much happening in front of the screens that they don't even have an interest to step outside. And a lot of kids, they don't even know the temperature. They won't go outside at all. They won't have no sense of what the day is, what the temperature is. They have no idea. Going outside is foreign to them nowadays. I look on the street and there's no kids outside. When I was growing up, all the kids on the block, we would come together and play games, play manhunt, I don't know if some of y'all don't know what Manhunt is. Manhunt is where like you just play tag. You go hide and seek, and you're just playing tag basically. And we play kickball, play basketball, baseball, whatever it is. You know what I mean? We were just having fun being a kid. And at the end of the day, when it got dark, you hate to go inside. You're like, oh, I gotta go inside. Like, damn, like your mama call you, like you gotta come in. It's like, yo, I had fun today, man. That was mad fun. I can't wait to do it again tomorrow. Get up, do the same thing. But now the kids are like, let's hop on the Fortnite. Let's hop on the game. Let's hop on Instagram. You know what I mean? And then everything that's on these games and these platforms, they're destructive to the mind. They're not teaching you nothing. It's not like these things are teaching you anything. They're not teaching you anything. They're teaching you how to be less of a human. That's why we're seeing the rise of AI so rapidly, is because humans are becoming less human and more robotic. It's like if you watch any movie from Hollywood, they tell you exactly what the agenda is because they have to tell you. There's a spiritual law that they have to tell you. These people who are manipulating everything and having agendas, they have to tell you what's happening, what their plans are, and they do it in the movies because they're betting on the average person to be like, oh, it's just a movie, it's not real life. When in reality, that's their real plan. No matter how crazy and sci-fi it might look on the screen, that's what these people are trying to manifest into the world. They're trying to manifest that. So you have to have wisdom and discernment to be like, oh, okay, I see the agenda in this movie. I see what they're doing in the Matrix. Oh, humanity let AI get too intelligent and it overturned the balance here on Earth. Where now the AI is stronger, AI is smarter, and humanity can't do anything for itself. That's the agenda in the Matrix. If you really watch the movie. And Neo, which is, again, I don't really agree with everything that Hollywood puts out. I don't like these movies. They might have a superhero, but a lot of it is playing off religion. A lot of it's playing off new age thinking. But anyway, Neo is basically supposed to represent the Messiah, the chosen one, and Neo is supposed to break everyone out of the Matrix. That's what Neo's character is. So at the end of the day, again, we have to come to this understanding that there is an agenda, and if you can't see the agenda, that's the problem. That's the problem with the world. And anyone who is able to see the agenda, they must communicate with their families and friends. No matter how hard the conversation might be, you must communicate with your family and friends. You must slip ideas into the minds of your family and friends, because they need to hear this stuff. We're living in a time right now where the tables are turning. There's a tipping scale where life on Earth can go one or the other way. It can go up, it can go down. And we have the ability to dictate where it goes. But if we don't do anything, if we're not progressive in our actions of doing something about this and waking people up and putting information out there and stopping censorship, if we're not progressive in these things, the people who are manipulating the world, who control religion, who control the finances, who control the TVs and the screens and everything about our society, they're going to dictate where this world goes. But the beauty is that we have the power of numbers. We have the power of 8 billion people in the world. There's only about 1,000 people who really run the world, who really have control of everything. So 1,000 versus 8 billion. 8 billion. Think about it. It's in our favor to win. But we have to have these hard conversations sometimes with your friends and family that are stuck into the Matrix, that are stuck into the agendas of war. Anyone who thinks war is a good idea, they're stuck in the Matrix. Their mind is stuck. They don't realize that war is the most destructive thing you can possibly do. If you really believe in a creator, if you really believe in a higher power, war is the last thing that creator, whatever you believe in, wants you to do, wants us to do. War is the last thing. Thou shalt not kill. So at the end of the day, why are we promoting war? Oh, it's not us. It's the agendas on the screens that are promoting war. And we're just following it. We're not calling it out. And some people feel like they don't have the power. They don't have the voice. You do have the voice. All you have to do is go to your neighbor, go to your family member and be like, yeah, this is not right. This is not right. It should be this way. It should be that way. You come to terms with one another. Now your whole block can communicate these same topics, come to terms with one another. Then you go to your city hall. Then you put the right people in those city hall and in your mayor. Put the right people in positions to actually make a change and have a voice. We have to start at the ground to do that. You can't depend on the guys at the top, the guys from the red, the guys from the blue, because they're not going to do anything. They're part of this whole agenda to keep you locked into the matrix. They're part of it. No matter how much you love this character that's on the screen, they are part of it. And you have to come to realization that this is all a game being run on me. See, if you ever grew up in the streets, you understand game. Game meaning when someone's trying to like swindle you, when someone's trying to like play you over or get over on you. You understand that. You can pick up on game, right? People who are come from the inner city, they know about that. So when they see somebody on TV that's, not all people from the city who's able to just see this, but a lot of people, they can see the phoniness coming out of, whoever's on the screen. And I don't want to say names because that's how you get censored and that's how you get, your message not across. Even though they'll probably still censor what I'm going to say because everything I say on platforms gets censored. Like I'll comment something on YouTube, like under a video, and right away because Google owns YouTube, they'll delete my comment. I'm like, come on, bro. It wasn't even like as soon as I hit like send or post, like instantly it's deleted. I'm like, this is crazy. So my name, my account is already on their censor list. But it's all good. It's all good because this message will reach the people. It will reach the right people who will push it on to the next person. And I'm trusting that the universe will provide that for me. But anyway, the whole point of this video is to have discernment. And the best way to increase your discernment is to eliminate the things that are keeping you stuck in this endless cycle. So if you're listening to music, especially today's rap music, if you listen to today's rap music, it is so degrading. It is so destructive to your mind and to your soul and to your body. It's manipulating you to do bad things. It's manipulating you to live in a low frequency, in a low vibration. If you eliminate this music from your life, I guarantee you'll notice a difference in just your attitude, your mindset, the relationships you have with individuals around you. You'll notice the world start opening up. And it's across the board with anything that's destructive to your mind. And it might be hard to pinpoint what exactly that is, but if you can pinpoint it, and some of us know what's bad and what's good for us, like in the back of your mind, if you should be doing this one thing, you shouldn't. You can't. Everybody knows what's wrong and what's not wrong. You're an adult. Most of us are old enough to have that discernment already. But some people don't care. They know it's bad for them and they're still going to do it. And again, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all, right? But I still try to stay away from it. I really do try. I try my hardest to stay away from it. And this world is designed to keep you locked into it. It's designed to keep you trapped. And that's where your spirit has to take over. Your spirit has to be strong enough to help you get away, because the flesh, your body's weak. You can go to the gym and everything, but if your spirit is not right, your body is over. It can't win. Your spirit has to be strong. And the way you build your spirit is you put things into your mind, to your body, into your soul that are uplifting for your spirit. So if you like music that's uplifting, put music that's uplifting into you. If you like to watch videos about cooking that makes you feel good, do those things, right? If you like to read, if you like to go for runs, if you like to work out, do these things that are uplifting your spirit and your mind and your soul. And then, there's if you want to really get your body to follow along, fasting is a good way to resist your flesh. Working out is is a good way to resist your flesh, because working out, I like to say it's pain leaving the body. When you're hurting, when you're really in that painful position, it's that weakness leaving your body. That's what it is. Pain is weakness leaving your body, and once you're able to conquer that, it comes easier over time. But at the end of the day, again, I'm trying my best to have these difficult conversations with family and friends, and it's not easy because a lot of them don't want to hear it. A lot of time their minds are so caught up in the screen and on whatever else, they don't care about these topics that I just went over in this video. It's hard for them to even, their attention spans can't stay on it. So just have patience with those who are not at your level. If you're at this level where you can understand and you can see through the agendas, have patience with those around you who are not at that level, because at the end of the day, we need everybody on board to come together. Earth is like a giant ship floating through the cosmos. Space, whether you believe space is real or not, space is like the ocean, and this Earth that we're living on is the ship that provides us with the safety of traveling, right? We're traveling through the cosmos, whatever you want to see it as. Earth is a ship, and right now this ship has a lot of holes in it, and the only way for us to not sink to the bottom is to start coming together and start patching these holes up. And once we patch the holes up, we'll notice that, okay, we can do this. If we can come together, we can really do this. Because right now, we're in the ocean, and we're moving in a direction that's leading us nowhere, and we're sinking fast. So we need to patch the ship up, and we need to find out who the real captains are on this planet and trust their guide and their leadership. Because right now we're being led by false prophets, and just like any religious text will tell you, the false prophets will be many, and only few will be chosen to actually guide this world into the right direction. And we need to find out who those few chosen are, because a lot of us are not living righteous. A lot of us are not living righteous, and we need guidance. We need that guidance. So it has to start at the ground level. It has to start within your community. Help one another. If there's a homeless problem in your city, in your town, you do something. You, as an individual, try to do something to help, no matter how small it is. If you need to give $5 to, an organization that's feeding the homeless, do it. If you need to volunteer your time that's helping people get off drugs, do it. Whatever it is, do the little things. Because at the end of the day, there's 8 billion of us. There's 8 billion of us. If we just gave a little bit of effort, every single one of us, this world would change like that. Like that, it would change. But none of us we don't care enough. We don't care enough to do the little things. All we care about is doing for ourselves. And again, I understand that a lot of us are in this survival mindset. A lot of us are in survival mode. I get it. But at the end of the day, look at the bigger picture. You can't survive if there's no earth to survive on. So we need to do the little things to help all around the clock, all around the board. Clean up the streets. You see your block is dirty, just go up and down your street and just clean up the little garbage. You know what I mean? Just do the little things. That's it. That's all we have to do, is do the little things. And then the bigger problems, we can worry about it later. But we can't solve big problems if we can't solve the little problems first. There's no way we can solve the big problems first. There's no way, because we can't even come together on common ground. We can't even decide what's a man, what's a female. We can't even decide what's right and what's not right in this country. So it's like, we need to just do the little things first. It's like micromanagement. Any successful person will tell you that micromanagement is the key to getting things done. It's the key. Any successful person will tell you that. And you have to have patience. You have to have drive. You have to have discipline. You have to have what's the word? I'm trying to come up with the word. You have to have like a unbreakable will to want to accomplish something. Even like, because even if you care about it, you might not want to do it, but you still have to have that will that will force you to do it. And that's the hardest part. Even myself, I deal with that. I struggle with not wanting to do something, and I'm like, damn, like, I don't want to do this right now. But like, I have to just sit, breathe, just think. I'm like, all right, how do I break this down and at least get one thing done? And then once I get that thing done, all right, how do I get the next thing done? And it's just like, that's the constant game of like trying to make sure like I'm centered. I'm not waving this way. I'm centered. So that's the struggle a lot of us deal with, and especially my generation. Like, it's like we have so much coming at us. Social media. You got stress from your family. Or temptations for your friends, and this and that. It's like, it's hard to just be. You know what I mean? It's hard to just stay straight on the narrow path, because so much is turning us this way and that way. But at the end of the day, we all have a path to follow, and we have a destination to get to. We only are given 120 years to complete that destination, and a lot of us are not going to make it to 120 years. So that's a short amount of time to complete this goal, this journey. Some of us never start this journey, and that's the saddest part. You go through a graveyard and you see that a lot of people who passed on, I'm sure a lot of them never even completed their journey. A lot of them never even started their journey. And it's like, wow, like, what could have been these people? I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for your neighbor. I don't want that for your family and friends. I want us to all start our journey and finish it. Come to that realization that, no matter what you believe in, just understand that you have a journey. You have a mission. And that mission must be completed. Because once all of us come to our own destinations, and we come together and we see, oh wow, we all made it, this world's gonna change. I'm telling you, this world's gonna change. It's just the way of the world, the way the universe works, the way things work. It will change, but you have to believe it first. You have to believe that this world can change. If you don't believe that this world can change, and you just have your mind in the gutter that, oh, it's this bad, it's never, you're not woke. You're not out of the matrix. Your mind's still stuck in the matrix, because you have to believe. You have to have hope. You have to have faith that things can change and get better. And if you don't, you're still stuck in the matrix. No matter how much you might think you know about the world and you see the agendas, if you don't have optimism in this life, you're still stuck in the matrix. You have to have optimism about this world. Having optimism is having faith in the Creator, having faith in a higher power, in God. That's what spirituality is about. Having faith that there is hope at the end of the day. No matter how bad things get. Any movie you ever seen, a superhero movie, whatever movie, the trials and tribulation that main character goes through, they never gave up at the end. They never gave up. That's what makes a great story, is that they never give up, and they get to the end of the destination, and they realize their dreams, or they make whatever they thought that was impossible, they made it possible. That's what makes a great story. That's what makes a great movie. That's what fills our hearts when we were entertained by these things. So you gotta, I don't know, y'all. Maybe this world is a big script. Maybe this world is a big movie, and we're playing out each character in the movie. But if that is the case, then hey, just play your role, do your role, and see what happens. But I just wanted to come up here and chat for a little bit. For me, kind of having these talks, it's therapeutic because I don't get to have these talks with everybody. It's hard for me to get this deep into conversation with the average person around, and I wish it would change because, I want to be able to talk like this to people on the street, but some people, they can't handle it. Their minds can't handle it. Their spirit can't handle it. They can't handle my spirit. You know what I mean? Like, my spirit runs people off sometimes, and I'm like, well, I'm not here to cause problems. I'm just here to enlighten you, and I'm here to find out what you're about. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know what you're doing here on Earth. Like, what's your goal? What's your mission? Do you know what your mission is? If you don't know, then I think you should spend more time finding out what it is, because I know what my mission is. You know what I mean? That's what I wish to see for the world, is everyone find out what their mission is. And their mission is, it's not about waking up and making money. That's not what the mission is. Nobody's mission is about waking up and making money. That's money is the byproduct of what your mission should be. If you get to your end of your destination, then you'll have money. You'll have whatever you need to take care of yourself. But a lot of us, we take the shortcut. Some of us, we're scared of the next level. We're scared of progressing. We don't want to put the work in to progress, to get to that next level. And that's what's stifling in us right now. It's stifling all of humanity, is that fear. Fear is the number one thing that's killing us. And we have to eliminate fear, because once you eliminate fear, your mind and your body and your soul, your heart, it opens up. And that's when you can become a master manifester, a master creator. You can start creating and manifesting things in the world at will, but you have to eliminate fear. And again, it's not easy. I too still struggle with these things. I'm not perfect, but I understand what must need to be done. I understand. And I'm working every day to make sure I eliminate the fear from my life, and I increase my discernment. But again, I like to have fun too. I like to go out and dance and party and have a good time with friends and family and even random people. I like to meet random people and just enjoy the vibes. I like to have fun too. I watch the game and I'll look at I don't like listening to the secular music that's out right now. I don't really like listening to the music like that. But if I'm in the environment and the vibes are right and the music come on and I see everybody is having a good time, like, I'm not gonna hate on it. I'm not gonna, be one of those downers. But on my free time, I'm not listening to that stuff. I'm feeding my soul the right type of food. The right type of entertainment, and I know what works and what doesn't work for me. And that's the thing. You have to find out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, because one thing that works for somebody else might not work for you. For example, like, I remember back in the day, I used to everybody used to dabble with marijuana, whatever, and some of my friends, like, they could be functional potheads. Like, they could smoke before class and get all their work done, and do it before the gym or go out and socially. I'm like, for me, no, I could not. It didn't work for me. I was like, yeah, this is making me unproductive. I am not this does not work for me. Like, it was messing me up mentally, spiritually, like physically. Like, I'm like, I can't do this. So I gave up all that stuff. I don't drink, I don't smoke. Like, I'm sober, and life is much better. And at first it was hard, because you're stuck in routines and patterns and addiction. But eventually you come to that enlightenment that you don't need it. Yeah, you don't need this to function. You might crave it, you might want it, but you don't need it. And that just comes with enlightenment, spiritual enlightenment. And it takes time. A lot of things take time. Nothing comes overnight. Trust me, nothing comes overnight. I didn't get to this level of enlightenment overnight. It took trials and tribulations. It took me going through ups and downs. It took me being a fool to get to this level that I am at now. It took me to be ignorant to get to this level that I am now. So, I think that everyone needs to have patience in themselves and with others around them. And if you can have that patience, if you can develop that wisdom and that understanding, then I think that you're on the right track. I think attention to detail is very important as well. Being able to, observe your environment and point out what's wrong and what needs to change and what needs to be, reevaluated. I think if you can have that type of discernment too, it can go a long way for you in life. The thing is that a lot of people, again, they don't see the problem. They don't see the problem in their situation. They don't see the problem in their lives and in their relationships, and that's very dangerous if you don't see problems. If you think everything's good and everything's all right, understand there's always problems. No matter what level you get to in life, there's always problems, because that's what this world is about. There's problems, and you need to learn how to fix them. And everybody who was born here naturally with a soul, you were given the ability to fix all your problems in life naturally. You just have to take time and dig deep within yourself to do it. And that's what my brand is all about. My brand, so my stage name, I'm a DJ, I'm a performer, I'm a producer. I do music. I also write stories, lyrics, whatever. I'm a creator. My stage name is Shammy Deep, and my brand is Deep Sea Underground. And my whole brand is about going deep within yourself to understand who you really are, to unlock that character within you. Who are you? And you only find it by getting to the core of your mind and your body and your soul. And once you get to the core of these things, you will unlock the truth about who you are and what your purpose is on earth, and what you need to be doing, how you need to be spending your time. And all the problems in your life will come to you, and you will know how to fix each and every problem, because you're centered and you're at the core of who you are and your values. Things will come to you. I can't really explain it. All I know is that all of us have an antenna, invisible antenna, and we share this. We're in this conscious pool, right? All of us are in this pool, and our consciousness is swimming in this pool, and ideas are coming in and out from this pool. And some of us get ideas when we're vibrating at a higher frequency. Some of us get other ideas when we're vibrating at a lower frequency, and those ideas are bad. But when you're vibrating at high frequency, you get the best ideas, right? And when you train your mind and your soul to be at that high level of vibration, more and more ideas will come to you, and you'll know how to maneuver and navigate yourself through this world. It's almost like we're in a game right now, and you got to learn how to move in this world, and everybody's different. Everybody has their own problems. Everyone has different situations they have to face in life. But that's the beauty of it, is that you're your own unique individual, and you have your own story to tell, and you have less than 120 years to tell your story, to carve your name, your signature, your story into the history book of Earth. That's your goal. That's your mission. What is your story? Write it down. Tell the world what your story is, because when the next generations come, you'll be forgotten if nobody knows your story, because you never wrote it down, because you decided to work you decided to live the life that's been indoctrinated to you. Go to the 13 years of slave school, work the 9 to 5. And I'm not saying don't work a 9 to 5, everybody should be working a 9 to 5 to get themselves together. Or if you're not working a 9 to 5, become an entrepreneur. But at the end of the day, don't fall victim to the slave mentality, to being a tax cattle, to just working to just living to work, you know? You have a story to tell. We want to know your story. It's like, think about it like everybody in the world is in a movie theater and we're watching life in through your eyes. Let's see what your story is, you know? Can you, like, we want to see the ups and we want to see the downs. And can you make this a story worth watching? At the end of the film, will we be satisfied as an audience? Think of life that way, you know? Make your life interesting. You know, don't just follow the herd. Because that's how you get, when you pass on, when you move on to the next world or whatever happens after you die, you know, your name, your legacy is just going to be forgotten, you know? So you have to, you know, engrave your name, your signature into this world. And I believe like everything in this world is recorded. I just believe that. I believe that this whatever is watching us, it's recording everything. Everything you say, everything that comes out your mouth, everything that is done in the physical world, it's being recorded. And you know, I just want to make sure that anything that's recording me is putting down solid, you know, dope stuff. You know, anything that happens that comes out of my printer is dope. So you know, I just want to come up here. I'm trying to get this channel going. You know, I know YouTube is like, I hate to say certain words, but YouTube is not the most ideal platform to be talking and to be speaking the truth, right? So, you know, I'm gonna try my best to get the message out there, but until we have a real platform that allows you to speak the truth and allows you to come out with no censorship, then we just gotta work with what we got, right? And we just stand up and protect our First and Second Amendment here in this country. You know, the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, and if I'm not mistaken, that's what those are. And be able to, you know, we can all come to an agreement about those things, about protecting ourselves, the ability to have free speech. I think this world will become a better place. I know it will become a better place in due time, but it has to start. It has to start now. We're in a crucial point in human history, and the ball's in our court. Remember, there's 8 billion of us. There's 8 billion of us. All we need is just 1% of collaboration for us to change the narrative of where this ship is going, the direction of where this boat is leading us, right? That's all we need is 1% of collaboration. So I hope you guys got a good feel for where my mind is at, where my spirit is at, and the things that I think about, things I, you know, talk about. You know, one day I hope to meet the community of people who resonate with my message, and I can hear from whoever, and we can collaborate and come together on things. You know, that's what I believe. You know, this world is, for me, is about. You know, it's collaborating with like-minded people, and being able to share stories and express ideas, and, you know, build on that. So we're at the almost at the hour mark, and just want to say thank you, everybody, for you know, if you made it this far, thank you for sticking around to hear what I have to say, and I'm thankful for all those who follow me. I will be releasing some music soon. You can find me on SoundCloud. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, obviously YouTube, under Shammy Deep. Or if you look on any of those platforms and you search Deep Sea Underground Music, you'll find my name, Music, Muzik. You'll find my stuff. I don't have a lot out right now because you know the music industry is so out of place. Like, where all this legal stuff and copyrights, and it's so whack. I wish it wasn't like this at all. It's so difficult to just do your art. But you know, I think if we can just, you know, put out, for me, like, I just want to put out the things that I'm feeling, you know? Like, that's what my music is. Like, my spirit, my soul is just putting out what I feel. And I just want to share that with the world, you know? So you can find me on those platforms. I do like house music. I do rap, R&B. You know, eventually I want to start, you know, recording my own vocals over tracks and becoming a real artist. But for now, I produce, I DJ. So you can find me on those platforms. And if you just search me, I'm on TikTok too, but I don't like TikTok. It's too fast. This is way too fast. Like, as soon as you open TikTok, next video comes up. I'm like, yeah, I can't take this. Like, my brain is like going all over the place. But yeah, I'm on there too. But all right, thank you for listening. Take care. Have a good day.